my name is Ulrich Obrist. I'm Artistic Director of Serpentine and co-curator here in Venice of the exhibition Strange Rules at Palazzo Diedo. It's important to note that this is an exhibition based on many conversations with Holly Herndon and Matt Dryhurst, co-curated by Holly, Matt and me, together also with Adriana Rispoli and of course the director of Palazzo Diedo, Mario Codognato, on an invitation by Nicolas Berggruen. We started to have conversations many years ago with Holly Herndon and Matt Dryhurst. I mean, it's exactly 8 years ago that we met each other and started to have conversations on this idea, more recently, of protocol art. The idea of protocols in art and instructions is something which has interested me already in an analog way a lot through the project Do It I did in the 90s, where I invited artists basically since 93 for this exhibition Do It to write instructions, manuals, protocols, which then can be realized in many different ways. And we wanted to look at this from a digital point of view and see if it is a whole new pattern that connects artists, and decided to develop this group show. The exhibition happens on 2 floors. The visitor entering encounters a big installation by Holly Herndon and Matt Dryhurst, which basically includes a collaborative situation also with the public, really very much so making the invisible visible. And that will be an installation in collaboration with Sub, which really is an almost church-like installation in the entrance of the Palazzo Diedo. From there, visitors can experience an exhibition where both artists but also scientists and technologists participate. C.P. Snow lamented in the 1950s that there is a divide between science and on the one hand and then the humanities and the arts on the other hand, and that we should bridge this gap, and that's something we feel today more relevant than ever. So the exhibition tries to address that. So there are scientists and technologists like Michael Levin with his flat-worm project, the eminent biologist, or also the technologist and AI researcher Kim Stanley with his pig breeder project. Kim Stanley has written a book which has influenced a lot our process of research, and the book is called Why Greatness Cannot Be Planned. And that's very much the serendipity of the process, the idea that many conversations were stepping stones leading to this project. I think is important. Venkatesh Rao, who has been instrumental for questions about protocol, who collaborated with the artist Simon Denny, also in a connection to a historic figure, Harold Cohen, because of course, if you think about the future, we also, I think, need to remember that very often the future is also invented with, fragments from the past. And so it's interesting here, this connection through Harold Cohen, through history. And then on the second floor, we have many commissions. Palazzo Diedo has had already 2 years ago extraordinary commissions by artists, such, for example, the stairways by Carsten Höller. These stairways take us to the next floor. And it's in a way also a protocol. Carsten Höller wrote an amazing text about these stairways and what it really does to our experience. And from there, visitors can experience a whole series of rooms by Trevor Paglen, where we can basically experience different moments of consciousness. It's basically possible to choose between different experiments. So in a way, the exhibition is of course also in many instances an experiment. It's an experimental exhibition. We have as well on the first floor a series of rooms with Fabien Giroux, Laurence Abouhamdan leading to a newly commissioned work by Philippe Parreno, which is the first basically marquee on the move with many AI elements and protocols included. There is also bigger film installations related to the questions of AI and protocol, a big screen in the courtyard of Ayun Kim. I mentioned already Fabien Giroux. There is also a new AI-related protocol project by Ho Zun Yen, and a whole cinema room where we have Lynn Hershman-Leeson, according to our research, one of the very first, if not the very first artist who really worked with AI. In a new film she has actually been creating, which has its European premiere here, Agnieszka Kurant and also Zike He. So this idea of a film room is also present. And then there is a sonic commission by Lorenzo Seni on the same floor, alongside a new AI-related painting by Avery Singer. And of course, interesting also in relation to biography, the question of an AI protocol related to a memoir by Stephanie Dinkins, and then also the plantoid objects of Primavera de Filippi, which are scattered through the space, kind of complete the project. The exhibition coincides with the opening of this year's Art Biennial, curated by Koyo Kuo. It's a very interdisciplinary project which will connect to the different moments of the next month, and then in October there will be a whole series of conversations. Many of the artists will come and do performances, and we're also working on a book, because particularly as it's about this pattern that connects many practitioners in relation to this new idea of protocol art. The book is very important if you document the research. And the exhibition has very much been a series of 100 studio visits we made over the last 18 months, in person or by Zoom, and these studio visits have all been recorded and will lead to this publication. An important part is also the exhibition within the exhibition by Joshua Citarella and New Models, where they created a new marketplace of ideas. It's basically a lot of also analog objects which relate to the digital content of this exhibition, somewhere between an installation and also a concept store. And that, in a way, many of the ideas of the last 18 months of research can be found, through this project. And of course, New Models, Caroline Busta, is also together with Adriana Rispoli, the editor of this book we are working on. So the organic process is not going to stop here. It's going to evolve over the next months, connecting it to the music biennial with Caterina Barbieri, to the Cinema Mostra later on in late August, early September, because the show is so interdisciplinary. So we're going to premiere films here. We're going to have musical components. Lorenzo Seni already did a sound composition here as part of the show. So in a way, we can say it has only just begun, and the book will be edited by Caroline Busta and Adriana Rispoli, and will in a way try to summarize really this pattern of protocol art which connects so many artists working on all continents right now.
A Palazzo Diedo oggi abbiamo l'obiettivo di far nascere un nuovo movimento artistico, o meglio di crearne un po' le basi, di cercare in quelle zone grigie in cui appunto l'arte e la scienza, la creatività in generale si sovrappone. Quello che vorremmo poter comunicare attraverso queste nuove installazioni e queste nuove commissioni create per la mostra è proprio l'importanza della collaborazione tra uomo e macchina, superare quel timore verso le nuove tecnologie e comprendere quanto ancora la creatività sia il vero motore della ricerca. La mostra non è un'entità statica, anzi, le opere presentate, oltre ad evolversi, rappresentano anche uno scenario e un'ambientazione da cui prenderanno forma nuove produzioni. L'opera stessa del piano terra, appunto di Matt e Holly, in questo caso nel doppio ruolo di curatori ed attori, rappresenta un organismo vivente in cui tutti i visitatori, ma anche tutti gli artisti che durante l'arco della mostra inviteremo a partecipare attraverso attività live, diventeranno corpo stesso della mostra, che evolvendosi verranno poi suggellate all'interno di una pubblicazione che sarà appunto l'apice della presentazione. Torniamo quindi ancora all'analogico per trovare un punto di riferimento nella vita reale. Il sottile filo rosso che collega le proposte espositive di Berggruen Arts&Culture durante la Biennale del 2026 è il linguaggio. Strange Rules ce lo propone in forma di codici, ma anche in forma di DNA. Il linguaggio poi è alla base, è proprio il medium del maestro dell'arte concettuale Joseph Kossut, che presentiamo invece alla Casa dei Tre Oci.